We're definitely looking for actors who have taken the bull by the horns to research and understand that part of the technical part of the job and can do it. But ultimately, I try not to look for anything, Joey. I try to really let the artist's potential kind of surprise me. I look too much for something. My wife, Kate, she's the co-founder too. It's the same way. You might miss it if you are looking for a particular demographic or an age category or a type of actor. Maybe you're looking to fill on the roster. It might, give you that unconscious bias toward another actor. And so I think part of what we've done really well is we just sign actors that we believe in, that we're really excited about when we watch them.
Welcome to Inside the Audition, the podcast where we go behind the scenes for a deep dive look into the world of auditions. I'm Joe Larsen, creator of Actors Audition Club, an international community helping actors book your dream roles in TV, film, and theater.
And I'm Brandon Knox, actor, producer, and co-host. Each episode, we chat with actors and industry professionals to share their audition experiences, insights, and advice.
We provide actors with actionable tips, strategies, and resources to help you elevate your auditions.
We demystify the often intimidating and misunderstood world of auditions to help you succeed.
So whether you're just starting out on your acting journey or you're a seasoned pro, join our Actors Audition Club members as we go Inside the Audition. Hey, welcome to Inside the Audition. We got another fantastic special episode today. Again, I was a guest host on Entertainment 411 presented by eBossCanada, and I had a fantastic opportunity to sit down and chat with Christopher Ian Bennett. Now, Christopher, he went through acting school a long time ago. He was also the president of Casting Workbook for a few years, and now he's an agent, a head agent, and owner at Hectiq Artists. And they represent actors in TV, film, theater, commercials, voiceover, video games, maybe even writing. Anyhow, we had a fantastic conversation. Christopher Ian Bennett, super cool dude, long career in entertainment, and tons of valuable insights here. If you're an actor, especially if you're looking for a new agency, we talk a lot about what he looks for in his artists when he signs people to Hectiq. So I hope you enjoy this episode. It's Christopher Ian Bennett from my interview with Entertainment 411 and eBossCanada. Enjoy Christopher Ian Bennett. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Joey Freddy Larsen. I'm your host today on Entertainment 411, your one-stop shop and backstage pass for Canadian entertainment. We have conversations with actors, with directors, with producers, with casting directors, talent agents. Today, we are going a one-on-one with a guest. I've got some questions for Christopher Ian Bennett. He is a talent agent, and he's the founder of Hectiq Artists in Vancouver. Also, fun fact about Christopher, he was the former president of Casting Workbook. I'm excited for this interview. Stick around. We got some great stuff coming at you. And let's bring Christopher Ian Bennett into the studio.
Joey.
There he is. Hey, buddy.
How are you, man?
I'm fantastic. Good to have a chat. We have not met previously, so this is our meet cute here via StreamYard. Thank you, first of all, for taking the time to be here with us. I know the life of a talent agent is very busy. You're probably missing about 1,000 emails right now.
I wouldn't say I'm missing them, Joey.
Okay, there you go.
They'll be there for me. They'll be there for me when we're done. Don't worry.
Perfect. Yeah, you have an assistant to take care of some of that, hopefully. Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. We're grateful for the time. So we have 10 questions for you, one-on-one. The first question is, can you tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming a talent agent?
Well, there's only kind of two routes to doing it, right? You kind of come through as an agent assistant, you learn the business, and you work your way up through the ranks. Which is kind of the door A, or it's door B, the unorthodox, who knows how you got here pathway, which is, of course, that should be the title of my book, right? That was exactly what I did. I started in marketing and public affairs and communications for many years in the corporate world. which in turn led me to becoming the executive creative director for T-Mobile and in the United States. And then ultimately, Vancouver Film School reached out and invited me to come in and take over as their executive producer and help build that institution into a global brand and a school that could be, take its place across the industry. And after doing that for a few years, I loved it. I had the opportunity to step in and lead Casting Workbook as the president there and their CMO. And I loved it. So I became familiar with the industry in a more untraditional roundabout way. And after doing all that for about 15 years, I thought, if I don't build my own agency now, I'm never going to do it. I'd always wanted to do it. So here we are.
Love it. When did you start the agency again?
We started in 2021.
2021. Okay. So post COVID. I don't like saying the word anymore.
That's right.
Can you tell us, for those that don't know the life of an agent, can you tell us some of the challenges associated with being an agent, or in your case, running an agency?
I think, the biggest challenge for any agent is trying to manage time with your client versus time on behalf of your client. And you've really got to know your clients. And we take that really seriously at Hectiq. And you've really got to have an appreciation for who they are as artists, who they are as individuals, what's their process, how do they best, reach their performance apex, so that when you are talking about them with casting, with directors, with producers across the industry, you've got a familiarity and an understanding of them. And at the same time spent just with your client is time spent not on your client's behalf, and vice versa. So it's always trying to manage that, and the juggling act that I think most people wouldn't appreciate is something that every agent works really hard to try to keep a balance.
Time management. Who knew? I feel like that's the master skill for all of us, is figuring out how to get it all done in a week or in a day. I mentioned COVID. Obviously, there were massive industry changes during COVID. I feel like if people have not dealt with those, it's been 4 years, then I don't know what world they're living in. But can you speak to recent changes, any industry trends or state of the industry just in the last 6 months to a year that have affected or maybe changed how you've run the agency?
I think ultimately, let's look at it through a positive lens. I think the biggest change for every actor and everyone in the industry was the migration away from being in the room and the move towards digital self-tape submission auditions. There was a lot of speculation about, would it be permanent? Would it be temporary? It's here to stay. It's for all its drawbacks or challenges, ultimately, I really think it's better for actors. I believe it's better for casting. It allows more actors to be seen on a wider scale. And it's not, as elitist and as seclusionary to a specific city or a location that actors can get to conveniently. They can live outside of Toronto or outside of LA, and they can still have that shot to get in and out. So I think ultimately COVID really helped balance that and create an opportunity for those actors that I think would otherwise not have a shot or have an opportunity to be seen as much. So I see that as a good thing. And I think it made us really appreciate more than anything, and I really think this, the power of storytelling. I mean, how many of us were so reliant on the screens in our lives during COVID, right? It's all we could do. We watched a lot of Netflix. We watched a lot of master classes. We really consumed as much online media as we could. There was a lot of time to kill when you couldn't be out doing the other more, human interactive things. So I think those two things there really showed us the value of screens and the power of the smartphone and why it has such an important role in the industry right now going forward.
Yeah, those are great points, especially about how it's democratized things and given opportunity to people maybe in smaller markets to audition for projects that they might not have been able to get in the room. I think it uncovered a lot of inefficiencies in the whole process of having to wrangle all these people into these time slots. My experience of in-person was they're always running behind schedule. I don't miss the days of driving an hour and a half to be in a room for 5 minutes. So yeah, I think there's definitely some positive things. In previous conversations, a lot of agents have mentioned one of the big benefits is they have a much stronger pulse on the actors themselves as far as the work they're doing, because in the past you would submit them, they would just go there, do their thing, but you don't really know what they're doing in the room. Do you find that now seeing their self-tapes allows you to know where they're at and see the quality of their work and just know what they're doing a little more transparent?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. I think the most important thing the self-tape really does for the artist is it reminds us, look, that's what everyone's going to ultimately see anyway. How do you play on tape, right? That's very, very important. And no matter how fun it is to be in the room or that interaction with casting, sometimes maybe even with another actor or reader, the reality is we've got to get that performance eventually to tape, and producers and casting are going to look at that and make those decisions based on what they're seeing on tape, because that's what an audience is going to watch. So I think we just skipped ahead to the most important part, and it's allowed actors to right off the bat simulate that camera moment that I think actually leads to better auditions. I really do.
Love it.
They can retape it. They can edit. They can try it again, right? In the room, lots of times, you kind of had your shot. Maybe if you got lucky, they'd let you take another pass, but you remember that. It wasn't your day. You weren't feeling great, or you couldn't make it on time. You were rushed, whatever. That's gone. So I think better performances are shining through as well.
Yeah, like I said, there was nothing in my previous days, nothing more frustrating than the hour and a half drive to go into the room and botch the first take and then go home.
Yeah.
Not that, I mean, you don't want that to happen. You want to nail that first take, but everyone has their off days. But you're doing a self-tape, you can have that first bad take and you just press delete and on to the next one. I believe for those people keeping track at home, normally we've got 10 questions, so that means we've got 7 left. Christopher Ian Bennett, agent and founder from Hectiq Artists. Good to see you again here, Christopher.
Thanks, Joey.
Question the fourth. What do you believe is the biggest misconception about an agent's role or your position, your job?
I think most of the time, most actors don't realize, submitting them for projects and work is probably just one of 10 critical things we do. Whether we're invoicing for them, chasing payments for them. At Hectiq, we spend an enormous amount of time helping our clients prep for the audition, researching the role. Whenever I can, I like to put my clients together with the director or the writer of the project, or maybe a producer, and understand the character before they even audition, so that they can really go that next level. We talk it out as a team to figure out how they want to play it, what the approach is going to be. You're moving really quickly sometimes with short deadlines. There's so much that goes into being an agent, researching projects before they've even been released to the public. I spent a ton of time, talking to up and coming writers with scripts and working on things that could eventually materialize into really great projects for my clients. So it never, ever stops. You just have to pull yourself out of it temporarily and put some food in your mouth and sleep and then go back at it again. So that's one of the reasons I love it, though. I think a lot of people don't recognize that for people who enjoy fast-paced industry, this is, you couldn't find anything more fast-paced than this job.
Right. Yeah. They got to watch Entourage, watch Ari Gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. You mentioned that sounds like, to me, what you just said sounds like you're a little more hands-on in the early phases, like of getting the breakdown and getting the sides. Do you have, does the agency have a studio where people come to you, or you're just doing that virtually via Zoom?
We do it. We've got a beautiful office right here in downtown Vancouver, and we're across Canada. We're in every major city. We've got talent all over the country and in the United States as well, and in LA and New York. But the ultimate office space for us now has become Zoom. It's quicker. It's easier for everybody. It's less expensive, and we can just get to more people and get more done in a day.
When you're looking to sign new talent, what do you look for?
I try to do two things. One, I will always judge an actor by the quality of their self-tape, right? They've got to show me they can self-tape at an industry, network level standard at the highest level. That is critical because we don't have time to train. It's just there's not enough time to do that. So we're definitely looking for actors who have taken the bull by the horns to research and understand that part of the technical part of the job and can do it. But ultimately, I try not to look for anything, Joey, I try to really let the artist's potential kind of surprise me. If I look too much for something, my wife Kate, she's the co-founder too, is the same way. You might miss it if you are looking for a particular demographic or an age category or a type of actor. Maybe you're looking to fill on the roster. It might, give you that unconscious bias toward another actor. And so I think part of what we've done really well is we just sign actors that we believe in, that we're really excited about when we watch them. And so in that respect, if they can excite us, it makes our job more fun and easier to showcase them and fight for them for roles and really get in there. And I don't have any expectation on any given day, right? We get hundreds of actors every month, and I never know who's going to be the one that sends me a self-tape and I go, oh my God, watch this. This is incredible. So I like the surprise. I try not to pre-think it too much.
That's really smart. Yeah, when you were explaining that, I was thinking of like a doctor. If you went to visit a doctor, if they come in with presuppositions, looking for something specific or looking for symptoms rather than just letting you talk and explain what's going on and show yourself to the doctor. That's great. Yeah. And people are surprising you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Always. And I love that part of the job. It's a lot of fun.
Do you rep people like in all, like, is it television, film, theater, voiceover, lit, a little bit of everything?
We don't do voiceover, but we do everything else. And we're actually, without saying too much, we're in conversations about merging with another agency that's going to bring directors and writers into our fold as well. So we're really excited to be doing that later this year and being able to represent artists across that spectrum. That's going to be a lot of fun for us.
Right. That's exciting. Congrats. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
You'll have, you just do everything in house and just produce your own projects, right? You don't even need to look outside.
One day.
Yeah. What is the biggest mistakes that actors make when submitting to you for representation?
It wouldn't surprise anyone. I think demo reels as opposed to a proper self-tape scene, with a reader off camera. Demo reels rarely, unless the actor is, been working on some big projects, they've got some clips that really show off what they can do. Union or non-union, I don't care. But I do think that it's important, especially younger actors or newer actors. Demo reels with really indie or student stuff, I'm not interested in. It rarely showcases the actor at their best. It's usually more of a reel to show off an up and coming filmmaker or a student, director. So I don't really care for those. And we tell people, please submit a proper self-tape scene. I got to say, preferably a couple, right? Don't limit yourself to just one. Give us a few to look at so we can see what you do. And I'd say the other mistake they make is not having a proper or an easily findable Instagram page. We do a ton of background research on our clients or prospective clients, and we take Instagram really seriously. It really helps paint a picture for us about the whole actor, not just who we're seeing in that short 2-minute scene. So it's important to have a really vibrant and authentic Instagram page so that we can see what we don't see in your headshots, or what we can see about you and learn about you that we don't see in that scene you submitted. So those would be the two mistakes there. I would think if you want to jump ahead with us, really consider that, and you'll be light years ahead of the pack.
That's really interesting because, and I think this is a good example of, there's not really like an industry norm, or with a lot of things, people, like it's personal preference, whether it's an agent or a casting director, because we have heard from some directors or from some casting or agents that they want to see the demo reel, not a class scene or like a self-tape thing. I could see one of the advantages to seeing a self-tape is that's current as well. Like this is this actor now today with their current craft, not this is them 3 years ago.
And like if you did a scene on, if you got a demo reel with a clip from a series we might know, or a role in a film, that's good too. But what ends up happening often is you might be killing it in this demo reel scene, but the actor across from you in the role is not. And you should never, ever let another actor influence how an agency or casting director might review and critique your work, right? If that person isn't as strong an actor, unfortunately, you're going to be brought down by that. It lessens the impact, right? It's hard for me to look at one bad actor and one good actor and kind of really try to forget what I'm saying on the left. So I think if you really want us to focus on what you can do, send us a solid team. But again, you're right. It really is different for every agent, for every casting director.
Right. Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah. All right. Question the 7th. Actually, you know what? I think we just answered question 7. Evan, you can bring it up here, but question 7 was the importance of a demo reel. So I think what you're saying is make sure the demo reel is very, very high quality. No student films or indie films. If it's crappy quality, the feeling to you is going to be, I'm watching something low quality, regardless of the individual actors.
Typically, not always, but typically. But like I said, if you booked something or you've done something that should be in there, of course, call it out and we'd love to see it. Ideally, maybe send both and send them in an unlisted YouTube link. That's the other thing. I think too many actors are sending around these gigantic files on WeTransfer or Dropbox. And, if I'm on the go or I'm coming back from the office downtown and I'm scrolling through my phone, and if I got to download something and go an extra step, sometimes I don't get to it. Make it easy for me to look at and get excited about what you do, and you're going to really help yourself.
Make it easy. Yeah, less friction, right? Yeah. And nobody got time to be downloading gigabyte files.
No.
I think we have another quick sponsor message. This is for one of our regular hosts, Fareed's upcoming show, Day Players. Evan, if you want to roll that promo.
You are a born protagonist. Look at you. You're a failed professional.
Okay, I wouldn't say failed.
You're finding bastion of hope in a rundown old school.
I mean, it's not that bad.
It just happens to be shared by the only woman who ever broke your heart.
What did you do?
Shh. Just watch.
I've got a lot of auditions lined up. Like, so many auditions.
I can imagine. I can relate. I'm having so many bookings. Like, it's like a library, just books everywhere.
That's right. You're looking at the host of Canada's Next Great Handyman.
I nailed my audition, bro. They said they'd call me.
Guys, I'm going to be the host of Canada's Next Great Handyman.
You are looking at the host of
right over here.
Okay, I'm feeling a little bit of hostility from you right now.
Oh, please mansplain it to me so I can understand it better.
Clearly you don't know what mansplaining is. Let me break it down.
He's dead.
Which is the purest, greatest form of theater? Improvisation.
Told you I would eat you. I told you I would. Woo! Let's go!
I cannot watch this anymore. This is agony.
Congrats to the cast and crew of Day Players. Stay tuned for that coming out soon. Yeah, looks. I love Patrick McKenna there too. Didn't spot him with the eyeshadow there. What advice do you have for aspiring talent? Or this could be advice for parents if you work with child actors.
I think it's really important in 2024 for an actor to really understand how hard of a job this is. If you want to make it as an actor, it's hard. The road is hard. There's so much rejection. I can't think of another profession that has this much, every day they're going to mostly tell you we picked someone else, not you. And then once in a while they're going to say we picked you. And that's got to sustain you. And the love of the work has got to be so overwhelmingly strong that you can endure it, because you can see how you get it, Joey. You know the road. If you don't love it and truly love it, it's a calling. I think that actors need to understand. If you're curious or you think you might like it, spend more time. It's not a place for a curious, creative person. You got to really know yourself and get into it. And we really look for actors who are certain and they want it bad, right? We want to represent clients that want it even more than we want it for them. And we want it for them really, really bad. You know, we're prepared to fight and go to bat to get our foot in the door for any client. And they've got to be willing to keep enduring and believing in themselves year after year, because it's a hard road. And I think we would say that to any parent or any actor, and convince me that this is what you really want and that this is something that calls you. And if they can do that, then usually we can begin those next steps forward at Hectiq Artists.
Yeah, I saw a recent viral clip. Or I don't know how recent it was, but it was Ethan Hawke, and he said he was talking to aspiring actors, people wanting to get into the industry, and he said, if you wouldn't love and really get off on being a high school drama or a community drama teacher, like where you really just love the craft, you love the art, you love just what it is at its purest form, let alone the business, then stay away from it, just because the road is tough. And if you're not loving it, then why?
Wise words. He's exactly right. Absolutely.
Yeah. You mentioned other jobs. One comes to mind. I was living in London at the time, right after university. I did a door-to-door sales where you're selling like coupon books or whatever the flavor of the week thing was that we're doing. And that was like knock on 10 doors, get 9 no's, and just keep on running. And now I think back where it's like hearing no's from auditions because I was seasoned. I've had doors slammed in my face. Literally, now the figurative doors slammed don't really bother me anymore. So it's
That's
either
right.
door-to-door sales or slugging it out as an actor.
Good for you, man. You're in the trenches.
Yeah. What would you like to see change in Canada and in the industry here? I know you're working cross-border and involved in things in the US as well, but specifically in Canada, what do you think we could do different?
I really like that question, Joey. I think there's probably a couple things that come to mind. I think it may or may not be popular, but I've always believed that protecting Canadian content, or rather creating policies in terms of the government legislation to ensure more of it is made. I think the intention behind that is really terrific, but I think unfortunately it leads to we don't have an HBO standard yet in Canada, when very rarely do we have that. And I think that will flourish if we have less restrictions on what can and has to be Canadian content. And in exchange, it will allow a lot more of these really exciting up and coming filmmakers and directors and writers coming across Canada, from Metropolitan or Toronto Film School or Vancouver Film School or Capilano, all everywhere in between, to really just let the great writing and the great work fight for itself, and the best stuff will rise to the top. And I really think if we want to start showing off our work on a global level, where it doesn't necessarily always look or feel Canadian, and you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Some of the stuff, it's time for us to quit legislating what Canadian content has to be, and get out of the way and let all this great stuff, define it. Let the audience choose, not the government. So that's one thing I've always thought would actually help it in the long run, which might feel counterintuitive. I'm not anti-Canadian content.
Right.
I'm just the opposite. I want an industry that allows them to work with partners from all kinds of different countries to make a great show or a great film come together. And the current model doesn't always enable that. And I also think actors need to casting directors need to, and I think they are, it's getting better and better every year, continue to embrace the diversity in the accents. I think we're becoming more and more used as an audience to seeing different accents, not just American or Canadian accents when we're watching things, and really embracing that. And I think if we start to do that, I think the audience was always going to appreciate it and not mind it so much. And if casting can continue to open their mind and allow great actors to come in, no matter what their maybe native dialect might be, you're going to see much more fascinating character studies and things on screen. I think those two things right there could really transform what we're doing in Canada on any given day in this industry.
Yeah, those are great points. I mean, especially with the diversity points. I mean, there's stories that haven't been told, and then those stories will connect to more global audiences as well too. So yeah, we had a guest recently, and his suggestion was building things within Canada, but also looking beyond Canada, not just the States, but the global market, making production ties with other countries, and co-productions with markets that we haven't really explored as Canadian actors or Canadian producers.
Yeah.
It's great. So I want to talk about mentors as our final question as we take this Entertainment 411 ship back to port. We've all got mentors, hopefully, people who gave us hope, inspiration, drive, keep going in this industry. Can you share some of your mentors and who they were and why?
Yeah, I've been really lucky to have a few that have really invested time and support in what we're building, and in myself as an up and coming agent and new to the industry, going back a few years. Many years ago, I actually met Ari Emanuel in a meeting, and he was inspiring. I didn't, other than meeting him and having a short time to interact and work with him and his team on a project when I was with T-Mobile, I really was excited about the industry and ultimately Timon Stewart, who everybody knows. He's an icon. He's a titan. I got to meet Timon several years back as well, and actually interview Timon, and I became really fascinated by what he did. I thought he was so cool and so interesting, and I loved his experience and what his passion for the work and for all his clients. And he really solidified for me that I wanted to do it too. And when I came to him and said, I'd love you to sit on our board and help us grow, he really embraced that and was so selfless with his time and his advice. And he's just such a cool, awesome kind of guy that is busy enough in his own right. And anytime a mentor, wants to truly and help and invest in someone else, you feel this incredible connection and good fortune that, I run a lot of stuff by him whenever I can, and I'm really grateful. And I would say Timon would probably be that mentor. Maybe Christine Habler too on our board. She's an amazing producer and has had an incredible career. And we became friends 20 years ago, and I continue to look to her for guidance on my most difficult decisions and strategic plans. And so, yeah, mentorship is key, man. Hectiq is all about it. We've got a brilliant board of advisors, and I think we're one of the only agencies in Canada that actually has one. And we really embrace it. We take it seriously. We're always humble enough to know we want advice, and we will take it from good people if we can get it.
Amazing. Any final thoughts, any final word of advice, anything you want to say? I know that most of our viewers are actors working in the industry already. Anything else you want to share that we haven't covered?
No, man, you did a great job, Joey, and I really appreciate it. I'm always surprised anyone wants to even hear from me at all. I've done what you've done and I are doing now. I love interviewing myself. There's a real joy to it, and you're really good at it. I wish we were reversed. I don't like being on the other end of it, but definitely enjoyed it. And would tell any actor out there, we'd love to hear from you. Visit our website, Hectiq Artists.com, and send us a submission. We're always looking and eager to find exciting new talent. So thanks for reaching out and giving us this chance.
Thanks for being so generous with your time here. Always great to meet another former Londoner. Maybe we cross paths one day on Richmond Street. Yeah, we might have seen each other at Barney's at one point. We just don't remember. Is there a spot that people can connect with you personally online? Do you have a favorite platform?
Yeah, we're on Instagram. You find me there, Hectiq Artists CEO, and you can find us there and drop me a note. We use it religiously. It's a really important platform for us, and so much more personal, more fun than email. We dread email. It's too transactional. So drop me a line there, and we'll love to chat.
Cool. Well, thanks again. Congrats on everything you're doing with Hectiq. Sounds like the agency is really forward thinking, and you're moving and shaking, and got some big moves coming. Once again, everyone, thanks for Christopher Bennett, our guest today. I think we're going to roll some clips. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, or you want to get involved in the show, if you're a company who wants to be involved as a sponsor, reach out to us. Watch this outro video, and there'll be some information for how you can connect with us there. Once again, thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Joey. We'll see you soon, brother.
Yeah, good to meet you. I'll connect with you.